Somewhere out there, buried under jungle vines, hidden beneath waves, or erased by time itself, are entire civilizations we can barely imagine. They built cities, wrote languages, traded across oceans, and then vanished. No goodbye, no warning. Just gone. Today, we're going to uncover 5 lost civilizations that disappeared without a trace, and the eerie clues they left behind. And trust me, by the end of this video, you might start questioning what could make our world vanish too. Our first mystery takes us to the banks of the Indus River, over 4,000 years ago. The Indus Valley Civilization, also called Harappan, was one of the world's earliest urban cultures. They built cities with running water, underground drainage systems, and even standardized bricks. That's right, they had public sanitation before Rome even existed. But sometime around 1900 BC, it all stopped. Their cities were abandoned. Their writing, still undeciphered, went silent. Some archaeologists blame a massive drought that dried up the Saraswati River. Others think climate shifts crippled their farming. And then there's the theory of invasion. But here's the thing. No signs of large-scale war have ever been found. It's almost as if they just walked away. Archaeologists discovered abandoned houses with lunch still in clay vessels, as if the residents anticipated a return. Others theorize a great drought or changes in the Saraswati River. Others believe an epidemic ravaged the land. Yet the chilling hints? Thousands of minuscule carved seals with symbols none have been able to decipher, as though the final commentary of a civilization lies reserved in code. In a moment, we'll look at a civilization that built entire cities into the sides of cliffs, then abandoned them as if chased by something they couldn't outrun. This next civilization was a prehistoric Native American civilization that flourished in the southwestern United States, the Anasazi. In the cliffs of the American Southwest, entire cities were carved into stone. By 1300 CE, the ancestral Puebloans had vanished. But by the late 1200s, their great cities were abandoned. Was it decades-long drought, famine, or conflict between their own people? Oral traditions speak of migrations forced by hunger, and possibly by enemies. What's eerie is how well preserved these homes are. Pots, tools, and structures still standing, as if the people stepped out for a moment and never returned. They left behind intricate kivas, pottery painted with spirals, and carved into the rocks, petroglyphs of what some believe are stars exploding and spiraling suns, perhaps recording a supernova or devastating drought. What makes it eerie? Their disappearance happened during one of the worst droughts in 500 years, but the spiral petroglyphs seem to point toward the sky, as if warning of something bigger than the land itself. Next, we will be talking about the Khmers of Angkor. Once the world's largest city in the 12th century, Angkor was the gem of the Khmer Empire. But by the 15th century, it lay abandoned and overgrown with jungle. Recent laser scans discovered an enormous buried city below the forest floor, and hint that a massive, intricate society flourished here. Angkor Wat, the crown jewel of the Khmer Empire in Cambodia, didn't exactly disappear, but its decline remains surrounded by mystery. Scholars believe a mix of factors played a role. Massive droughts followed by devastating floods in the 14th and 15th centuries disrupted the sophisticated water system that sustained its people. Political instability and wars, especially the invasion by Siamese forces from Ayutthaya in 1431, weakened the empire, and over time, shifting trade routes pulled economic power away from inland capitals like Angkor toward coastal cities. Combined, these pressures caused Angkor's population to dwindle, leaving the once thriving metropolis slowly reclaimed by the jungle. It's as if Angkor left a message in its bones. When the system that sustains you fails, so do you. But the next civilization didn't just vanish. They left behind giant pyramids, an incredibly accurate calendar, and possibly warnings about their own destruction. The Maya ruled a vast region in Central America, mastering astronomy, architecture, and mathematics. Their calendar tracked celestial events with astonishing precision. Severe droughts, warfare, overpopulation, disease. Historians debate which was the final blow, but what's certain is that their political system collapsed. And here's the twist. The Maya people didn't disappear. Millions of descendants still live today, but the towering cities of stone never recovered. The Maya were experts of astronomy and of agriculture and architecture, but between the 8th and 9th centuries, great southern lowland cities were abandoned. Hieroglyphic texts speak of war, famine, and days of no rain. Core samples from lakes confirm decades-long droughts. But their pyramids still exist, still true to the stars, as though their builders knew that the sky endures all empires. And our final lost civilization carved giant stone heads so heavy, we still don't know how they moved them, then disappeared without telling us who they really were. In the humid jungles of southern Mexico, centuries before the Maya, a civilization rose and left behind giant stone faces staring silently through the ages. We call them the Olmecs, but that isn't their true name. That's just what the Aztecs called them, long after they were gone. They carved heads taller than a man, weighing as much as a truck, then moved them for miles without wheels through dense rainforest and swamp. How? We don't know. They were traders, astronomers, artists. Some say they were the first to invent the Mesoamerican ball game, a sport played with life and death stakes. And then, their cities were abandoned. Theories point to shifting rivers, volcanic eruptions, or political collapse. But maybe they didn't disappear at all. Maybe they became the Maya, the Zapotec, and others, their names swallowed by history. Now their stone faces stare back at us, almost as if they know the answer, and just aren't telling. And then, they faded from history. Was it volcanic activity, environmental collapse, or political breakdown? Even their name is a mystery. Olmec is what the Aztecs called them centuries later. What they called themselves is lost forever. The Olmecs left behind mysteries that still haunt us. We still don't know what they called themselves. Olmec comes from the Aztec word Olmecatl, people of the rubber, given centuries later. They didn't just vanish. They gave us warnings, in stone, in art, in the very design of their cities. Reminders of how delicate water is, how hazardous overreach is, how fast nature reclaims what we construct. We walk through their shadows every day. But will we hear them before our own tale becomes another lost chapter?